Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Jay from Keeping It Real, your arbiter of gaming news and commentary, hitting you off with a studio production video where you know this is your channel, where all gamers' voices are heard. With your boy Jay, always dropping the word. Keeping them other gaming YouTubers like, what you heard? And where you always know, we always keep it all the way real. So what's up, YouTube? You know what time it is, the places where your gamers versus are heard, and your boy is dropping that word. So what's going on, everybody? Oh man, what a crazy day it is. Oh man. This is gonna be an interesting one, ladies and gentlemen. We have Sony that has acquired Bungie. Man, crazy. Man, seen it come in, the news come in, and you know, it's interesting seeing some of the reactions, man. I'm, you know, one of the fresh people making these videos on this, man. I just wanted to get a video out about this and talk about this, man. I find this very interesting. For me, unlike the haters out there when it comes to Xbox, this ain't gonna be a video on hate for Sony for acquiring Bungie. I think that's great for Sony, and if the relationship works out, I'm sure that's the reason why they're acquiring them. That's gonna be great for Bungie. Either way, they're both getting into this deal for a reason. I'm sure it mutually benefits both of them. But I wanted to really talk about that. Is Microsoft in trouble? I just think that's funny, man. It's just something that needs to be talked about, and something that from my point of view, I wanted to point out some things and talk about some things. Now, what's going to be interesting, man, is I wonder if you're going to be seeing those Sony fanboys talking about Monopoly now. I wonder if that's going to be a thing now. It's going to be Monopoly, Bungie, Monopoly. You know, I'm going to go out on a limb and, you know, and I'm just going to make a bet that you're not going to hear not one Sony fanboy talking about this is a monopoly for Sony, right, at all. There's not going to be any talks about it. How dare they buy yet another studio? Oh, this is a monopoly. You ain't going to hear none of that. And you know what's funny? You're definitely not going to hear a bunch of Xbox fanboys talking about Monopoly, because it's absurd of an argument. But moving on. But what's funny is this, it would be more a thing for Sony than it is for Microsoft, in just the sense of when it comes to the revenue numbers, and the market share, right? But that's either here or there. Not gonna hear that dumbass argument here. But what I will say is it's interesting, the price, the amount. It's not even $4 billion that Bungie cost in regards for Sony to buy, and I find that really interesting, because if you think about it, not even $4 billion, I think it's $3.6 billion. That is basically, Microsoft finds that in their couch cushions. I mean, they literally could have just like threw that change at Bungie at any time if they really wanted them, but they didn't. And that's what I find interesting. That's what I wanted to focus this video on. Why didn't Microsoft buy Bungie? And I have a couple of theories of why. Now, this is my own speculation. This is not factual. I always let you guys know, I keep it real and tell you what the facts are. This is just my own personal speculation. But it's based off of, you know, numbers, right? You see what they purchased them for, but you see Microsoft didn't purchase them. Here's my belief in this, why I think Microsoft did not purchase them. I think for a couple of different reasons. I think one of the reasons, if you really think about it, what Bungie does and what they're currently doing, 343 already does. I don't think they really had a slot for Bungie that made sense for them, because I think they already had that. And for Destiny, I don't really think they needed Destiny. because Destiny's been a game that, for what it's been, hasn't been a game that's been very polarizing. You either loved it or you hated it, and it's always going to have its core players of people, but it's never going to be great of what it could have been, because it just never was fully realized by numerous times. The story and everything being stripped out and being plagued with production issues. And one thing that a lot of people have gotten sick, and one of the reasons why I just stopped playing Destiny, is these motherfuckers want to have every model of you paying that they possibly could. They want to have a free to play model. They want to have an in-game store. They want to have a DLC model. I mean, they basically find every way they can squeeze every nickel and dime out of you that they possibly can. And people get sick of that shit after a while. And then at the same time, they're busy trying to put old content from Destiny 1 back into Destiny 2. So you basically repaying for the same old content over and over again. Destiny 2 was literally just Destiny 1.5 and making you pay for the same old content over and over again. And people have gotten sick of it. Even a lot of fans of it have gotten sick of it. So, I mean, I just don't think Microsoft was interested in that. There's nothing about Destiny that they felt was interesting. They probably want to do a new IP. But speaking of new IP, that's where Bungie could come in, for Sony, with a great new IP for them. And that is what will be interesting moving forward in the future, of how that can shape up, and the implications of that could be a great studio for Sony in regards to some new IP. So I don't really think much about Destiny, but a new IP, that's another story. That could be something really great. And Sony can really be taking full advantage of that, and it's a great thing. So yeah, man, I wanted to just break some of these things down and see what I think about it. I don't really think this is any big game changer for anything. It's Bungie, and Bungie mainly all they have is Destiny, and Destiny's not all that hot for most gamers. And again, Destiny will remain to be a multi-plat, obviously, in the form of what it is, but that's kind of beside the point. I think this is more of a future thing, and that's good that Sony is doing something to, because they really needed some help. I mean, this is something definitely for the Sony fanboys to run their mouths about, and of course, this won't have anything to do with Halo. Halo is owned by Microsoft firmly, so that's not even a thing. I'm seeing already, we got Halo. Like, how do you got Halo, bro? But you had nothing to do with Halo for decades, bro. Like, what are you talking about? But anyways, moving on. So, I mean, but either way, it'll give them something. Maybe this will lift some of their spirits, man. It was looking doom and gloom for those dudes for a long minute. So it's good that they'll have something that at least they can run their mouths about, even though, in my opinion, I don't really think this is anything of a big deal at all. A lot of this stuff would be shut down when they try to run their mouth about it because, it's Bungie. Like, come on. But hey, for the future, if there's any new IP, it'll be great for them. And that is something to be excited about, on the PlayStation side. And it's a great thing for what it is. But yeah, man, that's pretty much my opinion on that. I don't think this is going to move the needle much of anything, especially in the short term. Maybe the long term, if they come out with a new game that could be interesting, hey, I think that would be a nice prospect. But then again, you got to match that with all the crazy bangers that Microsoft is going to be hitting with, and I just don't think it's going to be even close. But it's what you can expect Microsoft to do some small measure to at least have some type of small response that is based in their, what is possible for them and based in money and resources. This makes more sense, something a smaller acquisition that they can get. But obviously with Microsoft not even spending that pocket change to acquire Bungie tells you that Microsoft didn't need or care about acquiring Bungie, because if they did, they could have brought them a long time ago. Personally, keeping it real, I thought Bungie was really worth more than that. Like, I would have thought they was at least worth $5 billion. But I was surprised to see that, damn, they were that cheap. So that tells you right there that they weren't really worth much. And if that was the case, Microsoft could have brought them easily, but they chose not to. So that tells you, Microsoft didn't want them. And it's a better relationship for Sony to pick them up because Bungie is greedy as hell. So they fit perfectly with Sony. They're both greedy as damn companies that just find any way they can to nickel and dime you. So, and that's negative. Okay. Bad J. But I mean, I just gotta keep it real. They are. I mean, Bungie is greedy as hell. Sony's greedy. They find any way they can to nickel and dime you. Come on, any company that's charging you $70 for games that are not even next generation. Yeah, I think you fit fine with Bungie. You know what I mean? But that's no salt. That's just keeping it real. I mean, come on. Anybody who's played Destiny know Bungie is greedy as hell. And that's a fact when it comes to Sony charging you $70, lying to you, telling you that these next generation games, and not one of these games is the next generation. I'm just saying. But all right, man, that's just the end of that. No more salt. This is great for Sony, and hopefully great for Bungie. And I hope this works out for them, man. But man, that's gonna be it on that, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Until the next time, man, I'm gone.